Bobby Driscoll was once Disney's Peter Pan, but a tragedy stopped him from ever really growing up. Bobby Driscoll once enjoyed a career that most child stars would dream of. He had a strong relationship with Disney and starred in a quartet of movies produced by the studio. But behind the scenes, the Oscar winner's story didn't play out like his on-screen fairy tales. Instead, his short life ended in tragedy. Driscoll had it all going for him as a child actor. He won a juvenile Oscar in 1949, a miniature statuette given to a promising young star. However, his Disney contract and flourishing early career didn't secure him work in Hollywood forever, and he slowly drifted into obscurity. Driscoll had once been Disney's golden child, but a change at the studio put the anti-child star owner Howard Hughes in charge. As such, he unexpectedly severed ties with the then teenage star. Driscoll later tried to make it alone, but things never quite lived up to his time with Disney. Driscoll's life ended out of the spotlight. In fact, he drifted so far from Hollywood that no one even knew what happened to him. It took his own mother more than a year to learn of her son's fate. And it was a tragic end to a once promising story of a child actor beloved for his freckles and curiosity. Robert Bobby Driscoll came into the world in March 1937 to an insulation salesman father named Cletus and his one-time teacher mother, Isabel. The star's parents then moved him from home state of Iowa to Altadena, California in 1943. A doctor recommended the family's West Coast relocation after their patriarch's job exposed him to asbestos, thus creating pulmonary issues. The move to Altadena proved pivotal in Driscoll's career. But his parents didn't shuttle the young boy to Hollywood agents to get him a big break. Instead, it all started at the barber shop when the then 5-year-old sat down for a trim in Pasadena, California. And in a 1946 radio interview, Driscoll told the world what happened next. According to Entertainment Weekly, Driscoll said, "A barber in Pasadena told me I should be in the movies. So one Sunday, he invited us out to his home and his son was there. We found out his son was in the movies. And the latter got me an appointment with his agent. His agent took me out to a part. The audition took place on the MGM lot, presumably packed with bits and pieces for movies filming on site. When Driscoll arrived, he noticed a faux ship nearby and pondered where the water was to set the vessel afloat. This inquiry impressed the director auditioning the young boy, who came off as both smart and curious. Driscoll nabbed a very small part in Lost Angel, which saw him act opposite Margaret O'Brien. Although he was only on screen for 2 minutes, it was enough to cement the young boy as a rising child star. His next part came in 1944's The Fighting Sullivans, when he played the youngest of 5 brothers. With his freckles and a button nose, Driscoll was an adorable child actor. The young talent learned lines with ease and portrayed his parts naturally. After his first 2 movies, he then starred in 7 more, completing all 9 in a short 3-year span. The 10th movie, meanwhile, would prove to be Driscoll's breakout role. It all started a few months after the young actor's second movie, The Fighting Sullivans, hit theaters. Then Disney Studios called him in for 2 interviews, and soon enough they signed him to a 13-week contract. Disney had Driscoll sign the short contract with a purpose. They wanted him to star in the movie Song of the South. Nowadays, film critics see the 1946 flick as a very dark spot in the Disney archives. It glosses over slavery and incorporates a slew of stereotypes to tell the story of a young boy called Johnny who treks to his grandfather's plantation for a visit. Despite Song of the South's major mistakes, the movie made Driscoll the first ever male star to sign a Disney contract. Biographer Mark Elliott told Entertainment Weekly in 2019 that the partnership made sense. He explained, "What Disney saw in Driscoll was the perfect, wholesome, all-American kid who dreams of being with pirates and all that. Bobby was Disney's live-action Mickey Mouse." Disney extended Driscoll's 13-week contract and began production on So Dear to My Heart as soon as Song of the South wrapped. The movie featured him and the co-star from his first Disney film, Luana Patton. She had also signed to the studio as a child star, and many referred to the young pair of actors as Disney's sweetheart team. Driscoll didn't just appear in Disney flicks once he signed with the studio, however. He was also loaned out to other major production companies, including RKO and Universal Studios. With the former, Driscoll starred in the 1949 suspense film noir The Window, which filmed in New York City. In The Window, Driscoll starred as Tommy Woodry, a boy who witnesses his neighbors murdering a man. And the younger's acting in that role, along with his work in Disney's So Dear to My Heart, earned him an enormous award. In 1950, the then 13-year-old won the Juvenile Academy Award for his film work. Driscoll had signed a 7-year contract with Disney in 1949 and would appear in Treasure Island in England just after the ink had dried. After he finished that and won his aforementioned Oscar, the young star then began work on Disney's animated production of Peter Pan. In the latter movie, Driscoll would provide the voice of Peter Pan opposite Catherine Beaumont, who played Wendy. And in 2019, she recalled the experience of working with the major child star. The actress told Entertainment Weekly, "He was lovely." Beaumont also pointed out that Driscoll led a somewhat normal life when he wasn't filming. Driscoll studied at Westwood University High School when filming wrapped up for 1951's When I Grow Up. Nevertheless, he appeared in Happy Time a year later and Peter Pan in 1953, which came out when the young actor was celebrating his 16th birthday. But Driscoll's journey toward adulthood wouldn't be as storied as his childhood. Sadly, studio executives had decided before Peter Pan's release that they would terminate Driscoll's contract 3 years early. Furthermore, they planned to do it once the animated flick hit theaters. But the actor had no idea until he heard a rumor and supposedly went to the studio to speak to his team. According to Driscoll's official website, the actor visited the studio to ask about his termination, but the executive secretary said that he was too busy. The actor then asked to see Walt Disney himself, who apparently was also unavailable. Then the secretary informed Driscoll that the Walt Disney Company no longer required his services, and security escorted the crying Oscar winner from the lot.